So starting loops or iterations, as I said, it's a pretty common sense approach. It's just a matter of syntax. You guys already kind of know, or you will be able to correlate from real life. So why do we need to tell Python to, when we talk about loops, we are talking about executing multiple lines of code multiple times, right? So far, when we wrote code, we told Python and Python went from top to bottom. We also told Python do this and this, and then do this, either go this branch or go this branch. We did that also. But how about if we say, hey, go back and repeat this set of a statement again, or go back and repeat this set of a statement again, right? That's what we call it loops and iterations or iterations. Why do we need to do that? Because I'll take a real life example. In real life, suppose you're asking, suppose you want to find out the average age of student in the classroom, right? So in order to find the average age of students in the classroom, suppose there are 5 students, okay? So when there are 5 students, you can ask, 5 times, right? Let's say, we say we're gonna ask the students, let's say S1 equal to int input, say enter age. We will take the age example, right? So enter age, and then we'll take, we need to find the sum. So we need to find sum equal to maybe 0 to begin with. We also create another variable called, I'm going to put it in a separate line, but in the lack of space, right? I'm saying count, CNT, and we'll say count 0. So in the beginning, our sum is also 0 and count is also 0. You need these 2 fields to calculate average, because average is sum divided by count. This is your average. This is your core algorithm. But in order to find the sum, and again, suppose we have 5 students in the class, right? I have a choice to ask one by one. Okay, Anish, what's your age? Then I ask, Mehika, what's your age? I ask Pranav, what's your age? Similarly, I ask all the students, what's your age? And everybody tells me his or her age. And then I keep adding. That's what at a high level we do it, right, Jay? So we say, like we have what, 8 students or 7 students in the class right now. For each 7 students, I'm going to find age for, let's say, this is Anish. And then I'll say, what is sum? Sum is whatever is the sum plus S1, right? So suppose sum in the beginning is 0. Then I'm going to find Anish's age and I'm going to add it here, right? Then second thing is, I'm going to say is, just a second. Okay, so suppose we found this age for Anish. Suppose I'm gonna hash and say this is for Anish. Then I will found age for S2 equal to, again I'll do integer input and they say enter age, right? And then again I'll do sum equal to sum plus S2. As you can see, all I'm doing is repeating 2 lines of code, right? I'm repeating 2 lines of code, which is this one. I'm getting the age, and then I'm adding it to the total. Same thing I'm repeating here. I will do it for S3. I'll do it for S4, student 4, student 5, student 6, etc. And then finally, I'm going to say AVG average equal to sum. Wait, I missed one step. It's my bad. I should not miss one step here. The step I'm going to insert here is, the next thing I want to do is count equal to count plus 1. Because once I added Anish, asked Anish, count became 1. Then next thing I'm doing is count equal to count plus 1. So these 3 lines of code, right, is what is being repeated for every student, right? This is, and at the end, I will say average equal to a new variable average equal to whatever is my sum divided by my count, right? This is how you will find average, and then you will say print average. It's a message maybe. This is precisely what our algorithm is going to be. Any questions so far? It's pretty straightforward, right? Every student, you ask the age, keep a counter, ask the age, keep a count, or also add that to your output variable.
Question.
Yes.
So basically, this is just the rough algorithm for what we want to write in our code, right?
Yes. And this is pretty much sequential. But is this efficient? Not really, because you are repeating same lines of code. Exactly. You're same for today's 7 students. What happens suppose you wrote this program, the program can change. The programming can change because in the next class, I may have 10 students. In the next class, I may have only 3 students. Who knows? So based on, suppose you wrote it for 7 students. First thing is you can't hard code it, right? You cannot say that this program does it 7. What happens if you have less than 7? Then what will user enter for the 7th student? Suppose there are only 6 students in the class. Or in some cases, next year you have 10 students. Then what will you do? You cannot go back and say, oh, find Anish, he wrote this program, and ask Anish to change this program. You cannot do that. Program has to be a little bit generic to handle these different situations, right? So there are 2 problems. One is you are hard coding, you are limiting it to 7 students, number 1. And second, that means next year, if there are 10 students, I have to call the developer, maybe, Anish, who will come and, change this program and say, okay, now 10 student I can handle. But what happens if there are 1 student who drops out? Then you have 9 students. Where will you find the 10th student to enter the data? So the program has to be very dynamic. It has to handle a different numbers. You cannot limit it to 7 students or 10 students. That's number 1 problem. Second is, as a developer, you are repeating your code, which is also not a good idea, right? There is a concept in programming called DRY. Do not repeat yourself. It's a basic concept. That means create functions or, and then reuse the function. The focus is high on reusability. So one simple thing we can do is, so we can say, repeat these 3 lines. Suppose I do this, and then I say, okay, on the top, I will declare sum equal to 0. I'll declare CNT equal to 0. And then here I will say S equal to int input, right? Enter age. And then I'm going to say sum equal to whatever is the sum, current value, plus S. And then say CNT, whatever is the CNT plus 1, right? If you go to Costco, you will see a guy standing at the door and he asks you, show me your card, right? And then he has a punch card in a small punch tool in his hand, and he presses that. It's a counter. He counts how many people have entered Costco today. You'll notice that this is precisely what he's doing behind the scene. Presses 1, counter becomes 1 more, counter becomes 1 more, right? So this is a counter. And this is your total. Whatever is the age, you got it. If we could do this, and then finally I'll say AVG equal to sum divided by count. Suppose if you could do this type of thing, then precisely we are writing only 3 lines of code, and our system is smart enough to do it maybe 10 times or 20 times. Right now we are saying 3 lines, repeat this, and we can say that repeat this 10 times, 20 times, or 50 times, whatever. And Python is smart enough to repeat it. As long as we can tell computer or Python to do it for 20 times, Python will be happily happily do the work for us. So we are not repeating anymore these 3 lines of code, and that is what precisely we are doing in iteration. You are not repeating the same task. You are identifying a block of tasks that you want to repeat and put it in a loop. That is what this is what iteration is all about.